Football is beautiful, but it is not all shades of beauty. As much as there are several exciting moments associated with this beautiful game, there are a couple of heartbreaking moments that might even leave some football fans traumatized. From Eriksen's collapse at the Euros to Christian Atsu's last goal, these are some heartbreaking moments in football. Before we go on, please like and share this video. Also hit the bell button to avoid missing our other videos. Christian Atsu's last goal. Former Ghanaian international Christian Atsu played football for the last time on the 5th of February 2023. And in this match between Hatayspor and Kasimpasa, he scored his team's only goal. The goal was a dying minute goal and it helped his team get the maximum points in this match. Although he had no plans that it was going to be his last, in the end, he wasn't going to play football anymore, as shortly after this match was an earthquake which hit Turkey and Syria, and although no one saw this coming, Christian Atsu was a victim of this earthquake. Atsu's last moments for his club were some of his happiest and might have passed as just any moment in the team's history. However, the fact that he died not long after wearing the Hatayspor jersey makes his last moments very significant for his club and also heartbreaking. Furthermore, it is a moment fans of the former Ghanaian international might not recover from in a long while. Brazil's heaviest defeat. Speaking of not recovering from a moment in a long while, Brazil's 2014 World Cup defeat on home soil and in the hands of longtime rivals Germany is one that they really might never recover from. This defeat was painful for several reasons. Chief among them is they were playing on home soil and really hoped they would be in the finals. Additionally, they lost by an extremely wide margin. As much as the Brazilians might never recover from this defeat, one could give excuses for them as they were without talisman Neymar and reliable defender Thiago Silva. In the absence of these key players, the Samba boys were really a shadow of themselves. Neymar was supposed to be running the show, but in his absence, Toni Kroos and Thomas Müller dominated the game, and this helped the Germans score 7 goals in a World Cup semi-final match against a top team. This is a feat that might never be replicated in World Cup history. Messi walks past the World Cup. The 2014 World Cup was devastating for Brazil. However, the Brazilians were not the only ones that were heartbroken in this tournament. Argentina also did not get what they wanted out of the 2014 World Cup. Finishing second and losing by a very narrow margin did not seem so bad for the Argentines. However, it was not a good thing for Lionel Messi, who came very close to winning the tournament. Before going on to win the World Cup in Qatar, the closest Messi came to this trophy was when he received the medal prepared for the second-place team. The 2014 World Cup in itself was not a bad tournament for Lionel Messi, as he scored 4 goals and even came very close to scoring in the final match. It all seemed okay when Argentina and Germany were yet to score. However, the dreaded moment in this match came just a few minutes to the end of extra time, and Mario Götze gave his country the lead they had long anticipated, and that was the end of Messi's World Cup dream. It all seemed like football when Germany won this match. However, the pain of defeat became clear when Messi walked past the World Cup without being able to lay his hands on it. Beckham's 1998 World Cup red card. Messi's failure to win the World Cup in 2014 was heartbreaking. Well, regardless of how heartbreaking it was, at least he had something to hold on to for participating in the 2014 World Cup. Just like Messi, Beckham couldn't achieve his dream of winning the 1998 World Cup as his team got disqualified in the round of 16. Now, getting disqualified in the round of 16 was bad. However, the manner in which the English team exited the World Cup was even worse. Their star player, David Beckham, was given a red card. The former Manchester United player did not get a red card because he was rough. On the contrary, he was given a red card because of his reaction to a challenge from Diego Simeone. This moment might always be a big one for football fans from Argentina, but football fans from England were heartbroken when Beckham got sent off, as his absence in the game was perhaps one reason his team failed to progress to the next stage of the 1998 World Cup. Zidane's 2006 World Cup final red card. Speaking of players whose red cards at the World Cup reduced their team's chances of being successful, the world will never forget the moment French and Real Madrid legend Zinedine Zidane was sent off in the World Cup final match between France and Italy. Before the 2006 World Cup, Zidane was considered one of the best players in the game and was well respected. This World Cup was going to be his last, and it was obvious the best way to end his career at this point was to lift the trophy. As much as fans expected him to lift this trophy, they knew his team could lose, so this wouldn't have been a problem. Unfortunately, Zidane bowed out of the World Cup in a way no one saw coming. He assaulted an Italian player and got sent off for this, making the end of his career one of the worst in the history of football. The next 5 moments were horrific and came with a lot of physical pain. But before we continue, please hit the like and share buttons if you are yet to do so. Christian Eriksen collapsed on the pitch. Football players are some of the healthiest people on the planet. They are very mentally alert and also really physically fit. Unfortunately, even the healthiest of people get sick sometimes, and this was exactly what happened to Christian Eriksen in a match against Finland in Euro 2020. He had just received the ball, and while he was looking to make something out of this pass, his heart stopped beating. This incident happened at about 5:43 p.m., and it almost seemed like the player had passed on. According to Morten Boesen, Denmark team doctor, Eriksen was gone. At the time of his collapse, no one was close to Eriksen, so it was difficult to understand what happened to the Manchester United player. Things were bad, but somehow Eriksen survived, and 9 months after this incident, he was back to professional football. Marc-Vivien Foé's death. Eriksen was lucky to have survived a heart attack in the middle of a match. Well, not everyone is as lucky as the Manchester United player, and former Manchester City player Marc-Vivien Foé is a perfect example of what could happen to players when they have a heart attack on the pitch. Before Foé's last match, he was a very healthy person and was full of energy, so if anyone on the pitch was going to go down with a heart attack, Foé would have been the least expected. Unlike Eriksen, who collapsed close to the sideline, Foé fell right in the center circle, and there was no one close to him when he collapsed. So it was impossible for his teammates to make attempts at keeping him alive before medics made it to the pitch. Medical personnel in the stadium rushed into the pitch and tried reviving the Cameroonian, but were unsuccessful. After several attempts at reviving the former City player, he was moved to the stadium's medical center, where the attempts to get him back continued. Unfortunately, after a heart massage that lasted 45 minutes and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, the big Cameroonian failed to make it back. Fabrice Muamba's near-death experience. Just like Denmark's Eriksen and Cameroon's Foé, England's Fabrice Muamba once collapsed on the pitch. The player suffered a cardiac arrest in a match between Tottenham and Bolton in 2012, and for about 78 minutes after he collapsed, Muamba's heart was not beating. After his collapse at White Hart Lane, Muamba was not rushed off the pitch for the match to go on. Rather, the medical personnel at the stadium spent ample time treating him before finally moving him to the hospital. Although Muamba was able to recover from this near-death experience, he couldn't go on with professional football. He seemed stable, but health professionals felt it was best he hung his boots. So on the 15th of August 2015, the Englishman quit professional football. Aaron Ramsey's injury. Aaron Ramsey might not be considered by many to be one of the best players on the planet, so he perhaps does not get as much attention as some of the world's very best. Well, the former Arsenal player once got the attention of Planet Football for a while. Unfortunately, this was for the wrong reason. In the 2009-2010 season, Aaron Ramsey got injured in a match between Arsenal and Stoke City. This moment is not on this video just because the striker was unable to play for a while. Rather, it makes this video because of how terrible a sight it was. In the 65th minute of this match between Arsenal and Stoke City, Shawcross came hard on Ramsey. His aim was definitely to win the ball, but that was not the outcome. Due to how hard Shawcross's tackle was, there was a crack, and the sound of this crack was quite loud as players on the bench heard it. In the end, Shawcross's tackle broke Ramsey's right leg, sending him out of the game for a long time. Ryan Shawcross's horrific injury. Speaking of players that have had to leave the pitch not with just an injury but with a broken body part, Ryan Shawcross knows exactly what it feels like to break bones on the pitch. Now, this is not because of his role in Aaron Ramsey's injury, it's simply because he suffered the same fate. Some years after having a hand in Ramsey's injury, Shawcross went through extreme pain after he broke his left ankle in a friendly match with Leicester City in 2019. The defender went in for a challenge and successfully won the ball with his right leg. However, somehow he left his left leg behind in an awkward position. This did not seem like a big deal until it became obvious he had a broken ankle. Shawcross had to be treated on the pitch for 8 minutes before he was moved to a hospital. And it's a wrap on heartbreaking moments in football. Which of these moments do you consider the most heartbreaking? Please let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share this video. Also, subscribe to this channel to see more videos like this. See you in the next video.